Um, PC is ODIs, right? It started first. Consoles test cricket. Mobile is T20, right? So it is and will always be the most popular, and it's fine because that's the one that's entertaining the most number of people. That's the one that's giving you the most amount of reach. Test cricket will always remain test cricket, which is very few will happen, but the value perception is very high, which is what it is. PC is that perfect in between sweet spot, and as PC game qualities become better and better and better, as laptops quality gets better, as PC qualities get better, the game experience will start to get better. As you have more wireless headsets which come in as an add-on to PCs, whether tethered or non-tethered, you will start to have more PC-based games which are both PC games as well as room scale VR. So it's up to the game development world as to how you make that offering, which is actually the first one to come about. Right? I played Prince of Persia on a PC. How do you now make it relevant in this current age? So, and we start to see this happening. We're actually starting to see some very cool PC games, especially in the multiplayer world, right? So, I'm quite bullish about PC games, and we see it from our students as well. So, on the value term, right, it's really about, like I said, it is so much easier for a parlay field to expand its revenue by 10% than it is for an Oreo. All Parle-G needs to do is increase their value by 50%. Because it's already got the volume underneath. The only way you can ask for that extra money is if you're delivering quality. And let's look at other examples that we have seen look at the film industry. So yes, Raju Hirani is an outstanding filmmaker, and Three Idiots is a great film. On the business side, the reason why everybody loved Three Idiots, it is because it broke the 500 rupees per ticket glass ceiling. And that nobody cribbed when they paid 500 bucks and went to see Three Idiots because the film was just so good. And the moment that perception, that mental block, that glass ceiling broke, you saw this explosion of box office revenue. We need that moment. We need that Three Idiots in the Indian gaming world, where people will not mind paying 900, 999, whatever amount in order to play that game. Not only that, they will tell eight other people saying, "Boss, completely worth it. Buy it, play it." Right? So when that happens, that's when you will see that big leap. And trust me, it will happen like this because the base is so huge. So the per capita incremental spend is nothing. Right? So I think we're there. Animation division for Mukta which is our parent, the film production house. And we've set up a division to essentially monetize all of Mukta's IPs in animation and games. So conversations are currently on with game development studios on what can we do with the Khalnayak, what can we do with the Ram Lakhan, what can we do with Saudagar, with Hero, with Karma, with Ram Lakhan, with Tal, with Iqbal. Can we build a cricket game around Iqbal? Can we do something around something else? Can we do so a lot of these conversations are currently underway, and after this I'm going to have one with you as well. To start to figure out how do we take this IP that has genuinely gone global and make sure that the gameplay quality is so good. So now I have a little more money to spend on actually building the game rather than spending on the initial marketing, because the initial marketing kind of gets taken care of by the power of the IP, right? And just to add to what he said earlier about Reliance gave 70% of the money coming from outside. That's fine. I mean, yes, there is headroom in India, but for now, let the 70% of the money come from outside. Right? 70% of Hollywood's money comes from outside the US, and that's how they've been able to gain global market share. So let's do that. Let's make sure that the Australians tomorrow crib here. Australians are playing too many Indian games, and nobody's playing Australian games. I want that scenario to be in the world. Right? I want there to be snide remarks by the French saying, "Arey, everyone is playing Indian games, the French games are suffering." Good. Welcome to free markets. So, yeah.
And we've seen that there are some studios who will start really small and simple and they'll be core mechanics, and then you have someone who's building the first game as a third person high-end action adventure game. What advice would you give to a new studio or a new developer looking to build their first game? A couple of bits of advice that you would share with them.
So, three things. One is have a good answer to why. Why are you doing this? Why are you building games? Right? Or why are you building indie games rather than going and working for him or for Ubisoft or wherever? Everybody has a different answer as long as there is an answer. Some say, I want money. Fine. Perfectly fine way to do it. Some say, I want the pleasure of creation. At the moment that why is solid and that fire is burning bright, then you are at least halfway there, because at some point in the development process you will hit a brick wall. There will be a creative block, there will be a financial block, there will be a mental block, there will be a technological block. It's this fire that will help you to break that wall or get around it, right? So A, have a strong answer to the question why. Don't tell anybody else, make sure you have one, be honest with yourself. The second is, make a game that you will enjoy playing, not a game that you think other people will enjoy playing. Because when you try and please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. It could be a simple, literally as simple as, Anbalgam mentioned Temple Run. Temple Run was created by husband-wife pair. And they had their neighbor who used to do sound design for films. They grabbed him and got him to do the sound effects for the game. And they made it because they genuinely loved playing that kind of game. And look where it's gone. So, know why, understand, make games that you like, then be smart about it. Don't do stupid things like make a great game and then share it around with everybody without registering, without doing copywriting, without doing all that, because your stuff will get nicked. Right? Be smart about it. There is all the information is available online, all of it. Games are now recognized as a unique ID, as a product. Start to look at transmedia content right to begin with. Right? So these are some of the examples that I would give. There is a fourth one which you may or may not want to do depending on your individual socio-economic status, is to have a side hustle, right, while you're building the game. Now, depends. If you're in a family that needs you to start earning at the age of 21, you need to have a side hustle. But thankfully, hopefully, if you're in a family that doesn't need and is willing to support your indie game development for a while, then take advantage of it. But so these are the 3-4 things that I would tell everybody. IP aa gaya, color palette aa gaya, all those things come in. Then there's game design, which is the more narrative structure of the game. How many levels? Where do you break the levels? Why? How are you directing the game? How much control do you want to see to the user? How much control do you want to retain as the designer? All those things kind of come in. And then game mechanics is the within the gameplay part, right? So where are the buttons going to go? What is the UI UX? What are the codes? What's the pace that I want? Do I want it to be a more slow-paced game or a fast-paced game? Is it more thinking? Is it more doing? So a lot of these things will then start to break it down. Now you can take micro courses in all of these online, or you can go to an institute and do all of this together in 4 years, right? Or 3 years, depending on where. Not too many institutions, actually no institutions have master's programs right now in games. Hopefully by 27 we will have, hopefully, 99%. So that's again another option. But try and do some kind of structured education, either on your own or in an institution. Because without that, you get into it a little bit blind, right? So spend some time on learning. The other thing is learn from peers. Everybody has a different way of approaching any problem or any creative problem that you want to solve, right? Learn, see how what other people are doing. Roam around here, spend some time in similar events. You'll get a lot of structural understanding on how to go about starting your education as a game developer. So that helps.
But they see it as a playing game, not as a developing aspect of it. So how do you make them aware of that fundamental skill? What are those fundamental skills which are required? So that, because all the courses are available after 12th. So what can they start doing now so that after 6 years they will be in a position where, or 5-6 years they will be in a position where, okay, I can do some career out of it, something like that.
So 3 things. Let them study as much as possible about cognitive sciences, right? So we don't make anything, we don't build anything. Our products are emotions. We are essentially selling emotions to you and asking you for your time and money. The delivery mechanism of the emotions is different, right? Film, TV, animation, games is all different, right? For that, essentially you have to understand mind. So let him or her read up as much about, learn as much about cognitive science as possible. There is enough education available. Then start to look at more fundamental education in understand narrative thinking, understand design thinking, understand color theory, ways of seeing. Ways of seeing is actually a global subject. If you go online, there are lots of online courses. Most of them are free. Some of them are low cost on ways of seeing. Ways of seeing depends on which culture you are born in, what script you write. The way of seeing for India is very different from Dubai. We see in any fixed frame, we see top left to bottom right. Dubai sees top right to bottom left because that's how the script goes. That's how the hoardings are, right? That's how the print ads look like. So when they start to understand these things, that is the base. That is the foundation. वो piling हो रहा है building का. Then by the time they get to about 10th or so, start to download SDKs. There are enough free game development kits available, right, on GitHub and some of these other things. Start to get those in and tell them, chalo, let's do something. देखो क्या आता है, right? So just let them do, and then if this passion sustains, then after 12 they should look at a undergrad program in games, right? Now on the gameplay side, have an honest conversation with him or her on how good they are. If they're really good, look at how they can join a team. Look at how that can be made more structured, because in a team you will get coaching. Your seniors, who will be 1 year elder to him or something like that, will actually coach him. Or how do you play this game better? There you learn strategy, you learn tactics, you learn design, you learn how to circumvent game design in order to achieve and become better at it. All these things start to get stored in for the time when you are going to make the games, right? So don't ignore that aspect. There are a lot of parents who think their kids are just playing games, and they actually are quite good. So
time pressure.
That's a 1 hour session in itself. But quickly, one, you cannot do this part-time seriously. Learning how to build games is as difficult as learning how to be a doctor. There are so many aspects that you need to consider. You cannot do this part-time if you are serious about it, right? If you want to do it as a hobby, by all means, pursue engineering and do this on the side. But if you are genuinely seriously interested in making it a career, this has to be the only thing that you do, right? That's one for sure. Second, it's a risk. Every career is a risk. Like I said, there are more unemployed and unemployable engineers today than unemployed and unemployable game developers, right? So ignore that safety net and that bit. Even after 4 years of game development, if nothing happens, you can still do an MBA and sell insurance. It's okay. There's no problem. Lots of people do that. Right? A lot of engineers, most engineers I know are selling insurance. So don't worry so much about that. Now the on the flip side of it, game design companies are looking for everybody. And he'll elaborate more on that. One of our top graduates from Direction is currently working as the chief narrative designer for a game studio in Bangalore. He was the Direction valedictorian, right? But he himself was a gamer and he loved that world. And they were hiring, and he went for the interview and he got it.